So I'm writing this script hot on the heels of my video where I list my issues with Luna, a character from Helluva Boss that a lot of people like. But I can imagine that the video's gotten some comments of people getting on my case for criticizing the character. That is, the nature of the beast.
Wow, I feel so loved here.
Damn puns. Interesting anecdotes is that while that video was in the middle of production, I came across a few interesting opinions talking about Poison Ivy and how some people were saying that she's a good person.
Hola. Oh, it's you.
If you're not familiar with the character herself, Poison Ivy is one of the villains from the Batman lore, and more recently is one of the leads in the main love interest with Harley Quinn in the show with the same moniker. For those wondering why I'm bringing both these up, I want to say there's nothing wrong with liking characters who are terrible. And by terrible characters, I mean they do terrible things, not that they're terribly written.
You look vaguely ethnic?
I've already given my opinion on Luna, but people love a ton of villains and characters who are bad. You only need to look at the countless gigabytes of Sephiroth being shirtless on the internet to see that be the case. Sephiroth is a character that, while having a tragic background, is for all intents and purposes a terrible character. He's a bad boy who wants to destroy the world with a giant space rock because of mommy issues.
Mommy?
And this is the point where I need to tell the FF7 fanboys that was a joke. However, as I've stated in my video on Luna, the reason why I take issue with the character is that she hasn't gotten her actual development yet in the show, only got the setup and more information about said character.
Yeah.
As for Poison Ivy, well, that's a bit more complicated because there have been several writers, several interpretations, and at this point, years of backstory that can be contradicting or outright bizarre at times. Characters like these can be fascinating, and you're allowed to be a fan of said characters, and just because you like these types of characters, that doesn't speak to you as a person. Just because I like Yoshikage Kira, that doesn't mean I suddenly want to lop off people's hands for sexual means or collect my fingernails in jars.
誰かに喋られる前に君を始末させてもらう。今夜もぐっすり眠れるようにね。
Just because I like Virgil from Devil May Cry 3 and 5, but hate DMC Devil May Cry's Virgil. That doesn't mean I have goals of cutting off my son's arm to take over the world.
I'm taking this back.
Just because there are people who like Chloe Price from Life is Strange, that doesn't mean that there are immature people who think 2 + 2 equaling 4 somehow means that you're sexist.
Jesus, I shot myself! Ugh, I shot myself! Back up!
Stupid gun! Hold on, Chloe.
I may have gotten a bit off the rails on that though. But my point is, you can like villains, you can like characters who do terrible things, or characters who are jackasses, and you shouldn't be expected to be judged for liking them. Hell, if you couldn't tell, I like a lot of characters who do terrible things or are terrible people. Luna, hell, most of the cast of Helluva Boss, for that matter, are prime examples of that. But my issue usually stems from a few different factors. The first is when people completely justify a character's actions to make them seem like the good guy.
With all 6 stones, I could simply snap my fingers. They would all cease to exist, and I call that mercy.
Going back to my example of Poison Ivy, a lot of people have taken a real shine to the Harley Quinn version of the character, and while I myself have a few issues with the show, I can admit that she's a dynamic character. The problem stems when people want to portray her as a good person and will actively include all the versions of the character.
Forget the geriatric bat. Come join me. My garden needs tending.
A character who I may remind you all has killed people, turned people into mind slaves, and has been known for ecological terrorism.
Just to be clear, you don't find this charming, right?
No.
Okay,
no,
cool.
no.
Yeah.
I've seen people actively say that because they are now a good representation of a group, that everything they've done is now justified.
It doesn't matter. Earth will die anyway if I don't act. I'm sorry, Harley, but I have to roll these dice.
I don't want to know what goes in the mind of that thought process, but hey, I guess killing people with toxic sludge is now a morally good thing on the internet.
Hey, what are you up to?
You know, just getting back in touch with my roots. Very cool, very cool.
Ugh, feeling in a cold one after that. It should be noted that characters both bad and good can have positive and negative traits to them, and there's nothing wrong with liking those kinds of traits in characters. Hell, just to make a point, let's talk about Chloe Price from Life is Strange.
Booyah. Like I'm a scary punk ghost.
Obviously, I don't like the character. I don't care for her. But it's not the first time I've defended a character that I don't like and can admit there are positives to a character that I actively dislike. One of the biggest positives is Chloe's relatability. Who amongst us hasn't lost a loved one to a twisted incident, or lashed out in pain because of what we perceive to be a slight against us? We're only human, and it's nice to see a human character like that. Another positive is that she does seem to be loyal at times to Max and Rachel, which, hey, I can appreciate. The only issue is that the bad outweighs the good to me. Also, as a side note, I understand a lot of people who are fans of Chloe are people who grew up with the game. And while that's not probably all the people who are like around her age at the same demographic, and probably view the game and its characters in a much more positive light than someone who already graduated from high school and was in his college years at the time, someone who had to deal with people like Chloe and was even in a toxic relationship and had similar signs of showing up, watching Max's and Chloe's friendship blossom and become somewhat toxic. Either that I'm just a crotchety old fart who's been burned way too many times by toxic girlfriends and became a cynic. You make the call! I guess if there's something that I really hate about villains nowadays, especially in the mainstream media to make them likable, there's the redemption arc of characters. Redemption arcs in and of themselves are fine. The problem is that when they start to appear more and more, especially for characters who really should not be more sympathetic. Honestly, the reason I feel that way is because there are writers who are actively trying to make it so, hey, it's okay to like these bad guys because they were never really bad because they joined the good guys. It feels cheap to me, so we're going to talk about redemption for a little in this video. Now, the moment I brought up redemption and villains, I'm willing to bet that a ton of you thought about some of the Disney villains that have gotten backstory movies to help make you feel sorry for them, like Cruella de Vil. I'm sorry, but trying to make me feel sympathetic to a character that wants to skin puppies alive to make fur coats that'll probably end up in the back of a closet within a week or two is never gonna happen.
I only wish to have a coat made out of topping!
Why would you do that?
Redemption is a hard thing to pull off, and while some people are willing to accept when a bad guy goes, I'm good now, I like to think that there should be more to that. Like, a few prominent examples come to mind. If we're talking about my own experiences on my channel as a core, there's characters such as Emerald from RWBY, who just basically shows up, helps the good guys once, and all the times that she was against the main cast just goes up and smoking, yay, we're all friends now! Not like there's any possibility that she could double-cross the team, or how about the fact that she was part of the reason that an event that led to a dismemberment on the team, who knows how many deaths were just swept away? Or how about Kylo Ren? I know I haven't talked about him, but Kylo just joins the good team. Look, when you do evil things, especially in the course of writing, you need to have a reason for why you do them. Sometimes that stems from personal game, ideology, or even a twisted view of the greater good. Few people tend to be evil just for the lulz, and not saying it's not possible to need a reason to be evil, but if we're talking about writing strength, it's kind of necessary, especially if you want to be more serious and not, you know, jokey with the character. So here's the rub. When you have a character doing evil, you need a better reason for why they turn good. And no, it can't be a fan theory. Fan theories do nothing to explain why a character would heel turn, especially in Canesity. Nice headcanon, bro. If you don't give a reason for why the characters turn good after doing so much evil, it's gonna feel real cheap if the character's basically going, I'm good now! Much like how the aforementioned Emerald, whose reasoning was a combination of fear from the big bad dumbass, and being rejected by probably one of the worst villains in media I have ever seen in the last decade. As for Kylo, you know, I'm not really too sure. I mean, his mom sent him a message, and then she died. The editing kind of makes it look like Rey killed her. Oops. Maybe it's my idiot tendencies showing up again, or the fact that I'm not a big Star Wars fan to go back and rewatch these contentious films. But for the life of me, I cannot understand Kylo's motivations. Getting back to the topic of redemption, you know what actually helps? Redemption actually taking place, and not just switching ideologies all willy-nilly. You need to actually have the terrible acts be addressed to the character for the redemption to actually be, you know, meaningful. It's why a character like Impmon from Digimon Tamers works. A character who was mostly a comical relief until he was able to become Beelzemon, in which he became powerful to compensate for his shortcomings in evolving. Unfortunately, said power went to his head, he killed one of the Digimon partners, and was spared by the Digimon partner's owner from being killed. But he wasn't forgiven.
Why are you protecting me? I destroyed your partner!
I hate you for doing that. But even if you died, it wouldn't bring Leomon back.
We see the little guy go through the guilt of what he's done, discovering the goodness inside him, trying to make amends, and even reconnect with his old tamers. And there's a line that I really like that's in the dub.
What I did is beyond forgiveness. I don't need anyone to tell me that. No matter what I do, I can't change the past. But what I can do is save Jerry!
The past isn't being forgotten or shoved under the rug, it's being acknowledged by the characters and still holds weight with how the characters interact with Impmon. At the end of the day, forgiveness is actually given to the little guy and it actually feels earned. You know, I started this video talking about how it's okay to like terrible characters, and that's something I still hold true even at this point that we've gone to redemption arcs, and I think that's something to consider. I think a lot of writers of high-level media nowadays have a bit of a stigma where if they write a character that is a terrible person, believes in terrible things, or is actively just an all-around D-bag, that the audience will portray that character onto the writers and think they must believe in the same ideology as their worst characters. It's not the first time I've seen that sort of criticism be levied at creators, even here on YouTube. So, in an attempt to placate this dumb mindset, writers will try to come up with reasons for why the characters are the way they are with extremely sympathetic backstories, in an attempt to show that the villains are misguided and they can be redeemed easily.
It all began on the day of my actual birth. Both of my parents failed to show up.
But to me, that's really cheap, and as someone who's been consuming media for almost 3 decades now, I feel like I can see a notable difference between good redemption, bad redemption, just so people don't have to feel bad for liking a bad guy or a terrible character. It's a mindset I hate, and it's slowly creeping up more and more, and it's infecting media I like. And at this point, I don't know how to end this video. Editor, I don't know. Banjo?
Why do we always hurt the ones we love? Why, Banjo? Why? Banjo! Banjo! Banjo!